Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome guys. It's been a long time since I made video, but a user commented on my video that he wanted me to make a video about shirk, about calling to the dead. What is the ruling of Islam on calling to the dead? And if someone is not present, is this shirk or something like this? So that's what the brother asked me to. I think his name is Ismail or something. He asked me to make this video, so I want to make it now. So how do we start this? Anyway, so making dua to the dead. What is that all about? Why would you do that? But that's not the question he's asking me. He wants me to make a technical video about what is the whole thing about, and is it shirk and stuff. A lot of scholars disagree with themselves on this issue. It's related to the issue of istighasa. You have the Salafis and you have the Asharis and stuff. I'm going to get into the whole topic and I will tell you my own position on this issue. So first of all, you should know the people that are defending that anyone that you see that is talking about people praying to the dead and that is not shirk, they don't support it. They don't say you should go and pray to the dead. That's the first thing you should understand. People don't get this. They think anyone that is saying anything else other than this shirk has to be supporting praying to the dead. Of course not. They call it bidah. They call it wrong, absolutely wrong. I've actually made a video about this before, talking about Dr. Yasir Qadi. He actually said he made a video about this issue. Many other scholars have talked about it. The point is that it's actually a technical issue of labeling something shirk or not. Okay, so you have to understand that it's not about should you do it or not. It's about is it shirk? Because if it's shirk, whoever does it is a mushrik. And if someone is a mushrik, he's a kafir. And if someone is a kafir, and you guys are traditionalists, if someone is a kafir and we ask him to stop and he doesn't stop, he's a murtad. If you're a murtad, it follows like that. So you have to be very careful when you label something shirk. That's why some scholars are saying, is it really shirk? Okay, that's the whole point. So now, calling to the dead. In that video, I'm going to use the same analogy I used. People don't actually understand shirk. They think shirk is only about dua or about all these things. Me, I used a very nice example to show you that you can be doing shirk right now. Just sitting down here and you are thinking about something, you can be committing shirk. It's not only about worship. That's the point I'm trying to show. It's not only about worship. Shirk is a belief. Okay? If you believe there's someone else other than Allah that can help you, you're a mushrik. How about that? Do you understand that? If you have a belief that, you know what, I can do something on my own. Let's say you want to write an exam and you believe you have the ability to do it, that you don't need God, for instance, you're mushrik. You'll be like, what do you mean? Atheists are mushriks. Quran called them this. Okay? So, because you have to submit your authority to something, whether you like it or not. That's the whole point. But the thing is that shirk is actually much more subtle than most people think. It's not just when you see somebody, quote unquote, making dua, and I explain what is the meaning of dua. Okay? So, we're going to get into all of that. But try and come to the topic open-minded and try to get definitions and try to see if it applies or not. Okay? So before you call something shirk, be careful. So the analogy I use is this. Let's say as I'm sitting down right now, let's say I feel pain in my leg. Let's say a cramp. I have a cramp right now. And I'm screaming like, is there anyone around? Help me. Let's say my brother is in the room and I'm like, help me. As I'm calling out for someone to help me, is that dua? I'm invoking someone to help me, literally. A human being or anybody around. I'm invoking someone to help me. Am I doing dua? Is it dua or not? Be like, what do you mean is it dua? Because I want to show you that dua, prayer, or before something can be considered dua in the proper sense of worship, it has to have an intention behind it. The intention has to be there. If you don't have the intention of dua, it cannot be called dua. If I'm calling someone to help me, I'm not intending dua. So you cannot just call it dua. Okay? Should you say, call only God when you have like cramp? Call God. Of course, in your mind, you know. And I said, if I'm calling that person, believing that that person can help me other than Allah, it is shirk. But if I'm calling the person, knowing that it's only Allah that really is helping me, but human beings are here. That's why you ask people for help, for money, for things like this. It's not because you think they can help you. It is Allah helping you through them. Okay? So this concept, a lot of people don't understand it. They think everything is shirk. Any dua, anything. Dua, what is dua? Define it. You will see like you have to put some definitions that are related to intention of worship. So if something has no intention of worship, can it be called dua? Okay, this is where it gets technical. If somebody now, the dead person, I also said I use the best example is to use the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay, so don't just talk about some dead sheikh. Of course, all of these things is rubbish. I'm telling you now, like if I'm defending, what I'm defending is different. I'm defending you not calling it shirk, not that it is not wrong. Do you understand there's a difference between something being wrong and something being shirk? Shirk is the greatest of sins. So be careful what you lump into there. So now, the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, okay, while he was alive, people used to go and meet him, make dua for me. In fact, don't you ask your parents to make dua for you? Don't you ask sheikhs to make dua for you? Don't you ask your friend to make dua for you? Why can't you make dua to Allah directly? That's the best way. Of course, it's true, but it is permissible to ask other people to make dua for you. That is permissible in Islam. No one was called a shirk. Okay? So, if the Prophet ﷺ is alive right now, I need something. I can go and meet the Prophet ﷺ. Please make dua for me. Okay, I can't do that. And you make the dua and it will get accepted, in fact, because it's the Prophet ﷺ, right? So, in a way, this is permissible in Islam. It doesn't have to be Prophet, it can be anybody. You can ask me to make dua for you and I will do. Even if you don't ask me, I do make dua for you, for instance. Now, how does, when the person is not there, when the person is not in your vicinity, how does it now become shirk? You see, this is where it gets technical. Let's say the person now died. Okay, the person is dead. How does it now become shirk automatically? When you were doing it, I said in that video that if something is shirk, it doesn't matter whether the person is alive or dead. You cannot be permitted to do shirk. Anytime. It has never been permitted. Ever in the history of the world, shirk has never been permitted. A lot of things were permitted, not shirk. No one has ever done it and God said, it's okay. They used to do it before. Never. Okay? So, if I am asking the Prophet when he was alive to make dua for me, if he's now dead, if I now go to his grave and I now ask him to make dua, to help me make dua again, okay? How does it become shirk? It is not shirk. It might be nonsense. If you'll be like, bro, why are you doing that? Who taught you this rubbish? Or don't do that, or whatever you want to say. In fact, there are some traditions that say that we should actually, that some Sahabas went to the grave of the Prophet to make dua, to ask him to make dua for rain or something like this. So, even now, let's say the Prophet Sallallahu we are saying, okay, it's only permitted. Some people say this, that it is only permitted for the Prophet. Why? This is problematic. Shirk can never be permitted for the Prophet. It can never be permitted for him. Not even the Prophet Sallallahu would endorse some kind of shirky behavior. Of course not. It wasn't shirk when he was alive. It's not shirk when he's dead. You might say it is bid'ah. You might call it all the name in the book. It doesn't make sense. Don't do that. In fact, the best way is to make dua directly to Allah. But it is not shirk. Unless the person has a belief that includes shirk in it. What is this belief that will include shirk? When that person is asking this individual, like this individual has some kind of power on his own. Like it has to be shirk true and true. You cannot just call something shirk. Be careful. Like it's just like genocide, this thing. You cannot just call anything genocide. It has to have some kind of definitions. But the point is that not everything that looks like shirk is shirk. That's why there are different levels of shirk even. There are some things that are shaky that they will tell you to stay away from. That's the point we are making. If you see somebody praying to the grave, we know they are doing nonsense. You can tell them to stop this rubbish. Go back home, go and pray. You don't need this. The prayer doesn't even work. It's not like the people going to the grave are getting their prayers answered, and we that we are praying at home directly to Allah, our prayers are not answered. Of course not. There's no clear difference. So what's the point? It is nonsense. It is bid'ah, but it is not shirk. If you want to make it shirk, you have to have clear definitions of the intention of the person. Okay? Of the intention of the person. Now, you might say like, we might not know the intention of the person, but it is his acts that we use to judge. No problem. Then you go and meet the person and you ask him, like, what is your belief about this? If they tell you their belief and it is shirk, then you can apprehend them like, okay, this is shirk. But if they tell you we are not asking them because, and that's what the argument of the other side is. They're saying people are Muslims. They don't make dua to people in the grave. They are Muslims for crying out loud. They are not doing that. When they go to the grave, they are probably thinking that these people can help them ask Allah for mercy or something like this. Like the Prophet ﷺ is going to be a shafa, is going to ask intercession for us on the day of judgment. Is that shirk? Of course not, it's not shirk. Now, some people believe other people, to wali of Allah and all these pious people, they can ask Allah to forgive their people, to forgive their friends, their family. There's some narration that talks about children asking Allah to forgive their distance. There's some narration talking about prophets asking Allah for mercy on their ummah. All of this is not shirk. And the person asking this is just doing something that is bidah, or possibly bidah, or things like this. To call it shirk is going too far, because you're calling them mushrik while they are not. Okay? So this is the argument from the other side. They are telling you that it is not shirk. You might say it is not permissible, that it is wrong, that it can lead to shirk. Even some of them said this kind of behavior, before you know it, it can lead to shirk. That's why they condemn it. But don't call it shirk, because you're saying those Muslims are mushriks. So we have to be careful. If anyone has any argument, any definition of why someone that is not there, okay, remember when I said I got cramp and I'm shouting, is anybody there? Let's say I don't even know if anybody's there and I'm shouting for someone to help me. Anybody? Am I a mushrik? Of course not. So the person not being present, it just makes it absurd and stupid, and you shouldn't do that, but it doesn't make it shirk. For shirk, you have to direct worship. You have to have the intention of shirk for it to be shirk. Take for instance, if someone came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam while he was alive, and he asked the Prophet for help, excluding God, is literally he wants the Prophet to help him, not God, thinking that the Prophet has some kind of power, that he doesn't need God, he needs the Prophet. That is shirk. Not if he's asking the Prophet to go and submit to God, to ask Allah for help. I know it's very technical. I'm not saying you should do it, but be careful before you call it shirk. Okay? There's another technical issue related to the Christians and how they made the same mistake. Why did the Christians call Jesus God? Why did they equate him with God? It started from the idea of worship. Because some Christians still argue this till today, that the worship that they talked about in the Bible is not the worship of worshiping him as God, is the worship of glory to another. Something like that. There's actually much more technical. I've seen Unitarians argue this, that it wasn't worship and it doesn't make him God and things like that. So we have to be much more careful. That's my whole point. I hope this video helps the brother understand that the both sides, some of them, they just need to talk and things will get clarified when you start defining things and you make sure you condemn the whole thing. And some people even find precedent for it in the hadith. So we have to be very careful. If you want to be consistent with the tradition and you see everything that's happened in there, don't just call everything shirk when there's evidence that some people it was permissible. Even some of these things were permissible. I wouldn't do it, but don't call it shirk. That's the point. You can say it is wrong, you can say someone shouldn't do that. I'm just repeating myself here. But if this video doesn't help, the next one I'll make, it will be about Christians. I will use the concept, the very radical one of the Christians. Some of them are defending the notion that we are worshipping Jesus, but it is not actually worship. That one is a much more difficult topic to talk about. And even Dr. Yasir Qadhi, he came up to it, but he stopped. He stopped because that's where it gets very difficult, where people are actually worshipping, but it's not actually worship. That's very technical. So that one, if this one doesn't help, I'll bring that one and I'll use it to dismantle any such notion of worship, mixing it with what is actually shirk. The people that are mushrikun, they know themselves. They are not hiding. They are real mushriks. They believe in gods, different gods that have different powers, independent of themselves, and they can help you without the main God. In fact, some of them think the main God is out of reach. We need these small gods to help us. So let me see what you think in the comment section. I don't mind engaging anyone that has a counter argument to this. So let's meet in the comment section. See you guys later. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.